Jakes used to come to my parties. TD Jakes also gave me young boys from church for sacrifice.
Hello there, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Week 3 of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, starting with the music mogul's former assistant, Capricorn Clark, taking the stand.
Why would we need a 50-foot bed?
I mean, TD Jakes ain't small. I'm just saying. If it's a group thing, it's a group thing. You got to think about, you got Rick Ross, you got Khaled. We talk about heavy.
Of all the proof of Diddy's gay parties, when I tried to leak the proof, Diddy threatened to kill me. I also have videos of Diddy performing sacrifices.
What if everything you thought you knew about the Diddy trial disappeared in an instant? Imagine a respected public figure like TD Jakes stepping forward with shocking revelations that could completely change the course of the case. What I'm about to share isn't just surprising, it's game-changing. New names have surfaced, revealing unexpected connections to Diddy's inner circle, and the truth is far darker than anyone imagined. Welcome back. Today's update dives deep into one of the most intense and controversial trials of the year. Just when it seemed like the drama had peaked, TD Jakes drops a bombshell, exposing a list of individuals tied to what's now being called Diddy's dark circle. This isn't idle gossip. It could shatter the foundation of the trial and send shockwaves through both the legal world and the entertainment industry.
She was held against her will twice, at one point alleging she was forced from her apartment and into a car to take Combs and one of his bodyguards to the home of rapper Kid Cudi to, quote, kill him. Cudi was dating his ex, Cassie Ventura, at the time. Clark also claimed Combs threatened to kill Ventura if she didn't convince Kid Cudi not to tell police that Combs was allegedly involved with a break-in at his house. Clark also telling the jury that a large man repeatedly administered lie detector tests to her on suspicion that she stole jewelry loaned to Combs. She testified that this man said if she flunked the test, they're going to throw you in the East River.
Maybe that'll save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making the Christians look real bad right about now.
And you've been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah. I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards. So I know what goes on at the parties. If, they probably got a little bit more freakier, as time went on, cause they got to the point whereas that they didn't even.
Jakes, known for his powerful influence both inside and outside the church, has taken center stage in a shocking twist that few saw coming. By stepping forward and naming individuals he believes are tied to Diddy's so-called dark circle, he's stunned both the public and those directly involved in the case. His revelations could completely reshape the battle between the prosecution and defense, turning the trial on its head. The people he named aren't bystanders. They're powerful figures spanning the entertainment, business, and religious worlds, exposing a hidden network few knew existed. This trial is no longer just about Diddy. It's about influence, secrecy, and control. What's more startling is that some of those named have already begun scrambling to control the fallout, trying to silence the narrative before it spreads. The consequences could reach far beyond the courtroom, threatening alliances, careers, and reputations. We'll explore more about TD Jakes' role and what these revelations mean for the future of the trial in the next part. One thing is clear, both the entertainment and religious worlds are now on edge.
Clinton, President Obama, President Trump. I think these are 3 American presidents who really, really, really wish they had no connection to Diddy. But they all do. They all know him, appeared with him, partied with him. Clinton, Obama, Trump, and they're not the only famous people who partied and hung out with Diddy. Apparently there's at least, 100 plus who are going to be named in his trial. Famous shiny stars. We named some of them last night. We got a new one tonight, Iron Man. but we don't yet know what the connection is. Like, how are all these famous faces and names going to be connected to P. Diddy in his traffic trial? It's the kind of thing they're all freaking out about, right? And there are many unnamed yet. We're just finding out about them in jury selection. But I'll tell you what, the internet is freaking out and making its connections. Which shiny star had what connection to Diddy, and how could that end up in the case?
I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
Yes, we applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing.
Candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy and the charges. Just today, the name Robert Downey Jr. came up in court. Robert Downey, the actor, and Diddy apparently do know each other and have been seen together in public. But Robert Downey Jr. reportedly never attended Diddy's parties. So if he does figure into this trial somehow, it's going to be a lot of news to a lot of us. Mike Myers, another favorite Canadian, favorite actor, favorite comedian. He is on the jury question list as well. And that too is a tongue-wagging mystery. Unless it's about the quick jab at Diddy that he took in the Austin Powers movie. I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. Rolling Stone magazine reports that actor Michael B. Jordan made the list because Diddy once threatened him for dating Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Same goes for the rapper Kid Cudi. USA Today says that Cassie's lawsuit claimed that Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car.
People get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters.
Shock to many in the religious community, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House.
Jakes used to come to my parties. T.D. Jakes also gave me young boys from church for sacrifice.
E.D. Jakes, widely recognized for his role as a spiritual leader and counselor, shocked many by stepping into a scandal far removed from the pulpit. His unexpected involvement in the Diddy trial gave his revelations added weight, particularly when reports emerged that he had named several high-profile individuals allegedly connected to Diddy's secretive inner circle. These weren't fringe players. Many of them are major figures in business, music, media, and even religion. People who had, until now, remained hidden despite signs of deeper involvement. Among them is a seasoned businessman long rumored to be close to Diddy, whose behind-the-scenes influence may have shaped some of the group's most controversial decisions. Another name belongs to a powerful media mogul suspected of financing activities linked to the trial's central accusations, raising serious concerns about the level of money and power operating in the shadows. What makes Jakes' disclosure even more unsettling is how it blurs the lines between faith and business, challenging the long-held belief that religious leaders stay removed from such entanglements. His revelations reveal a complex web of influence, one that doesn't just touch on individual guilt, but suggests a broader network manipulating perception, legal outcomes, and public discourse for personal gain. Media outlets and investigators, spurred by Jakes' claims, have already begun quietly probing into these names, many of whom have a history of silencing critics and protecting their own interests. This could trigger serious consequences, including legal action or criminal charges. While the mainstream media has hesitated to fully address the story, the fallout is already unfolding. The names T.D. Jakes exposed didn't just cause a stir. They sent shockwaves through courtrooms, boardrooms, and church pews alike. In the next section, we'll examine how those accused are responding, the public's reaction, and what this could mean for the future of the Diddy trial. What's becoming clearer is that the truth, no matter how deeply buried, is starting to rise, and some will go to extreme lengths to keep it hidden.
He forced me and other celebrities into physical contact. Jay-Z and Beyonce are also with Diddy. I apologize to everyone for my wrong actions.
In the wake of T.D. Jakes' shocking revelations, several of the individuals he named wasted no time issuing public statements, swiftly denying any involvement or wrongdoing. Many carefully distanced themselves from the accusations, opting for vague, legal-sounding language that avoided direct confrontation. Some claimed their names were being dragged into a story that had nothing to do with them, a classic strategy to deflect and downplay. But here's the twist. Insiders suggest these responses were far from spontaneous. According to sources, legal teams had already mobilized, preparing a coordinated strategy to discredit T.D. Jakes and paint his revelations as unfounded or even manipulative attempts to sway the trial. Despite this, the public reaction was immediate and powerful. Social media exploded with both outrage and support, with hashtags calling for justice and truth trending within hours on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. While Diddy's supporters remained divided, some defending him, others demanding full transparency, the bigger issue became clear. This wasn't just a legal matter anymore, it had become a cultural reckoning. The controversy opened a broader discussion about the hidden power structures that may protect influential figures at all costs. Then came the next wave. Fueled by Jake's boldness, former insiders and whistleblowers began stepping forward. They claimed firsthand knowledge of how this so-called dark circle operates, describing an invisible network that shapes media coverage, manipulates trials, and suppresses both victims and witnesses. One whistleblower described covert meetings where narratives were crafted and strategies laid out to control public perception, sometimes using intimidation, sometimes money, always silence. If proven true, these explosive claims could escalate the case to an entirely new level, exposing systemic abuse of power and triggering further legal and public fallout.
Man, but to get into this lawsuit, right, Cassie, she testified that Diddy will force male escorts to urinate in her mouth during free-calls.
My man, you know, that's a touchy and difficult subject when you're a man and you have daughters. You understand? And that's why we as men need to play a prominent part in our daughters' lives, because you get men like this that's got this corrupt and devious minds that they don't respect womanhood. You understand? That's some nasty, perverted things that you want to have somebody urinate in the mouth of somebody who gonna be talking to you in your face, who gonna be kissing on you, who gonna be eating food with you. What kind of deviant and crazy mind you have to have somebody do that to somebody that you care about, you supposed to care about, that you supposed to love, man. You know, something is sick about that, brother. You can't tell me that that's some kind of fetish. You know what I'm saying? You know, he didn't outdid R. Kelly with that shit right there, bro, when I heard that. So that's an effed up subject and situation, man, to even imagine that you got somebody doing that to somebody that you supposed to care about and you supposed to be in a relationship.
Meanwhile, some legal experts are beginning to suggest that T.D. Jakes' revelations could offer the prosecution critical new leads or even potential witnesses that might dramatically shift the direction of the trial. But the defense isn't staying silent. They've been quick to question Jakes' credibility, accusing him of ulterior motives and fueling a heated back and forth in the media. The coverage itself has been wildly inconsistent. While certain outlets highlight the seriousness of Jakes' claims, others lean into sensationalism or dismiss the entire ordeal as a baseless conspiracy. This conflicting narrative has made it increasingly difficult for the public to distinguish fact from fiction. Yet, one key question continues to dominate the conversation. Who else is involved in this alleged network, and just how far does its influence reach? As more details emerge, the truth appears to be surfacing in layers, each one peeling back to reveal a far more intricate and powerful structure than anyone originally imagined. In the next section, we'll explore what these revelations could mean not only for the trial's outcome, but also for Diddy's future, the broader entertainment industry, and the urgent need for accountability at every level.
And in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
T.D. Jakes, do not speak against
World-renowned Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Casey Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging abuse, violence, and sex trafficking.
Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves sex trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on. And if they've got it.
She was held against her will twice. At one point alleging she was forced from her apartment and into a car to take Combs and one of his bodyguards to the home of rapper Kid Cudi to, quote, kidnap. Cudi was dating his ex, Cassie Ventura, at the time. Clark also claimed Combs threatened to kill Ventura if she didn't convince Kid Cudi not to tell police that Combs was allegedly involved with a break-in at his house. Clark also telling the jury that a large man repeatedly administered lie detector tests to her on suspicion that she stole jewelry loaned to Combs. She testified that this man said if she flunked the test, they're going to throw you in the East.
In 2009, did you observe an incident between Puff and Cassie? Yes, she was attacked by Sean and kicked. Did you see more violence by him against Cassie? Often. The government then shows Don Richard a picture of Diddy Dirty Money. When were you a member of this group? 2009 to 2011. The incident in 2009 when Sean Combs Cassie, where was it? In Sean Combs' LA home. We were recording. What did he do? He was saying, "Where the F is my food?" He grabbed a black skillet with eggs and tried to hit her over the head. Cassie dropped to the ground. What did she do? She was in a fetal position. Then what? Sean Combs was kicking her in the head and the body and then dragged her up to the first floor. Glass was breaking and yelling. I was scared for her and for me too. Did you intervene? No. Did you call the police? No. The next day, what happened? He said it had been passionate and she was okay, and that it would be better if we didn't talk, that people could end up missing. How did you understand that? Death. Diddy's team then yells objection. Then the judge calls a sidebar and ends her testimony for the day. But Don Richard will be back on Monday to give the rest of her full testimony against Diddy. Right before they brought Don Richard in, they actually had a Homeland Security agent testify against Diddy about when they came and arrested him to take him to jail. So let's go ahead and get into that. The government asked, when Sean Combs was arrested, where did you go? The Park Hyatt Hotel, room 2115, where he was staying. They show a picture to the jury of his hotel suite, And what did you do? We assigned a letter to each room and began to search. What was your role? I took photographs of items and then signed them on the 6051 form. What was found in the closet? They then show a picture to the jury, and it was plastic bags full of Johnson & Johnson baby oil and Astro